In today's digital age, where every keystroke leaves a trace, one man thought he could hide his darkest secrets behind the anonymity of an online username. But when investigators uncovered what Terrell Rowan was hiding, it sent shockwaves through Pennsylvania and beyond.
A Bensalem man is accused of sharing child pornography involving prepubescent children and animals through a Kik messaging account, authorities announced on Tuesday, Feb 5. Terrell Rowan, 21, was arrested following an investigation that began with a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children on January 7, according to Bensalem police.
What happens when innocence is traded for exploitation? Welcome to Vic's Crime Case Files, where we dive deep into true crime stories that haunt our society. Today, we unravel the chilling case of Terrell Rowan, a story of betrayal, trauma, and justice served. It's a reminder of how technology can be both a tool and a weapon, and how even the smallest clue can lead to the unmasking of a predator. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that red button now so you don't miss any of these gripping investigations. And if this kind of content resonates with you, share this video with your friends who love uncovering the truth behind real-life crimes. Together, let's explore the darker corners of human behavior and the fight for justice. On January 7th, a quiet Monday morning, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC, received a tip that would soon shake an entire community. NCMEC is a vital organization that works tirelessly to protect children from exploitation. They monitor online platforms, social media, and digital spaces for any signs of suspicious activity. Their efforts are crucial in identifying predators who think they can hide in the shadows of the internet. But this particular tip was different, disturbing and alarming. It pointed to a Kik account with the username RuckyBuckets, which had been distributing horrifying content. Images and videos depicting prepubescent children engaging in unspeakable acts were being shared through this account. The gravity of the situation could not be ignored. As soon as the tip was verified, it was forwarded to local law enforcement in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. The Bensalem Police Department sprang into action, assigning Detective Sarah Martinez to lead the investigation. Detective Martinez is a seasoned investigator known for her sharp instincts and unwavering dedication to justice. Her team began by carefully reviewing the evidence provided by NCMEC. Every detail mattered. Every piece of data could hold the key to identifying the person behind RuckyBuckets. The first step was tracing the IP address associated with the Kik account. This process required meticulous attention to detail. Detective Martinez and her team worked around the clock, sifting through reams of digital information. They analyzed metadata, cross-referenced timestamps, and followed a trail of digital breadcrumbs. She scrolls through logs of activity, her brow furrowed as she connects the dots between the username RuckyBuckets and its real-world location. The investigation led them to a residential neighborhood in Bensalem. A home on the 3300 block of Pasqualone Boulevard emerged as the likely source of the illegal activity. Detective Martinez and her team prepared meticulously for what lay ahead. They knew they were dealing with something sinister, and their mission was clear: to bring the perpetrator to justice and ensure no more harm came to innocent victims. But let's pause here for a moment. Did you know cases like this often go unnoticed because people assume they're too small or insignificant? Predators thrive in the shadows, relying on the belief that their actions won't be discovered. If you want more insights into how investigators solve such complex puzzles, stick around. We'll get there soon. Understanding the methods used by law enforcement is crucial in appreciating the challenges they face and the victories they achieve. With each passing hour, Detective Martinez and her team grew closer to unraveling the mystery of RuckyBuckets. The pressure was mounting, but so was their determination. They knew they were racing against time, not just to catch a criminal, but to potentially save lives. And as the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, the truth about Terrell Rowan was about to come to light. On February 4th, the operation to apprehend Terrell Rowan began. The early morning hours were calm in the quiet neighborhood of Bensalem, but that tranquility was about to shatter. Officers from the Bensalem Police Department arrived at the address on Pasqualone Boulevard, their vehicles pulling up with precision. Flashing lights illuminated the darkened streets as law enforcement prepared for what they knew would be a difficult task ahead. The knock on the door came sharply, startling those inside. When Terrell Rowan answered, his face betrayed confusion, perhaps even fear, as he saw the badges held by the officers. "Mr. Rowan," one of the detectives announced firmly, "we have a search warrant for this property." Without hesitation, the team entered the home, moving methodically through each room. Computers, smartphones, and other digital devices were seized immediately, their screens frozen in time, holding secrets that no one should ever uncover. In the living room, Rowan sat nervously as investigators confronted him. One of the detectives addressed him directly. "Mr. Rowan, do you understand why we're here?" Rowan hesitated, fidgeting with his hands. I don't know what you're talking about," he stammered, trying to feign ignorance. But the detective pressed further. "Let's not play games. We traced your Kik account to this address. Care to explain the files we found?" Rowan's demeanor shifted. His nervousness gave way to resignation. He looked down at his lap, avoiding eye contact. It was clear that the evidence against him was overwhelming. Though he didn't admit outright to the crimes, his silence spoke volumes. The investigation had reached its climax, and justice was now within reach. As the dust settled from the arrest, questions lingered. What drives someone like Terrell Rowan to commit such heinous acts? To explore this, we must delve into the darker corners of the human psyche. Experts in psychology and criminology suggest that individuals who engage in these behaviors often suffer from deep emotional wounds. For some, it may stem from childhood trauma or unresolved pain. For others, it could be fueled by addiction or loneliness. In Rowan's case, speculation points toward a combination of factors: a lack of meaningful connections, coupled with easy access to platforms where harmful content can spread unchecked. Criminal psychologists note that people who exploit children often feel disconnected from society. They seek control over others as a way to cope with their own insecurities. This kind of behavior isn't born overnight. It develops over time, fed by isolation and poor decision-making. Additionally, the anonymity offered by technology plays a significant role in emboldening predators to act without fear of immediate consequences. Another critical factor is desensitization. Over time, repeated exposure to disturbing material can erode one's sense of right and wrong. Cognitive distortions, ways of thinking that allow perpetrators to rationalize their behavior, also contribute to the justification of such actions. These psychological mechanisms are complex, yet understanding them is crucial in preventing future offenses. This isn't just a story. It's a reminder of the darker side of human nature. If you enjoyed this layer of analysis, consider subscribing to VIX Crime Case Files. Your support helps us bring you more compelling stories like this one. By staying informed, we all play a part in combating the shadows of crime and protecting the innocent. As the officers and investigators wrapped up the scene at Rowan's home, they knew they had taken a critical step toward justice. But the journey was far from over. The next phase would involve navigating the legal system, ensuring accountability, and addressing the broader societal implications of cases like this. And while the road ahead promised challenges, the resolve to make a difference remained unshaken. As news of Terrell Rowan's arrest spread, it ignited a firestorm of public reaction. The case quickly became more than just an individual story. It was a symbol of the broader societal challenges in combating child exploitation and ensuring accountability in the digital age. Local media outlets picked up the story, and soon, national platforms began covering it as well. Social media erupted with outrage, debate, and calls for justice. Neighborhood forums buzzed with discussions as residents of Bensalem grappled with the reality that such crimes could happen so close to home. Neighbors who knew Rowan expressed shock and disbelief. "I can't believe this happened right here," one resident said in an interview. He seemed like a regular guy, quiet, kept to himself. You never think something like this could come from someone you pass by every day. Community members weren't just upset, they were angry. Parents voiced concerns about online safety and demanded stricter regulations on platforms like Kik. Legal experts weighed in, emphasizing the complexities of prosecuting cybercrimes and the need for stronger laws to address them. One expert stated, "Cases like this highlight the gap between technology and legislation. We need better tools to track these offenders and protect children before it's too late." The public scrutiny only intensified as the legal proceedings unfolded. On the day of his arraignment, Terrell Rowan stood before District Justice Joseph Falcone, his head bowed low. The courtroom was packed, not just with lawyers and court staff, but also with members of the press and concerned citizens. Every word spoken carried weight, and the gravity of the situation was palpable. District Justice Falcone addressed Rowan directly, his tone firm yet measured. "Mr. Rowan, you are charged with sexual abuse of children, possession and distribution of child pornography, and criminal use of a communication facility. These are serious offenses that demand equally serious consequences." The judge paused briefly, allowing the words to sink in. Then he continued, "Given the severity of the allegations, I am setting bail at 10% of $3 million. Do you understand the charges against you?" Rowan nodded slightly, his voice barely audible as he replied, "Yes, Your Honor." The courtroom fell silent for a moment, the enormity of the $3 million bail figure hanging in the air. For many watching, it wasn't just about the money, it was about sending a message. A clear signal that crimes of this nature would not be tolerated and that those responsible would face severe repercussions. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, capturing reactions from both supporters and critics of the judicial decision. Some praised the high bail amount as necessary given the egregious nature of the charges, while others questioned whether it was excessive or fair. Regardless of differing opinions, one thing was certain. This case had captured the nation's attention and sparked important conversations about how we handle such crimes. Legal analysts noted that cases involving child exploitation often carry heavy penalties due to their devastating impact on victims and society at large. They explained that the bail amount reflected not only the seriousness of the charges but also the risk of flight, given the potential prison sentence if convicted. As the arraignment concluded, Rowan was remanded to Bucks County Correctional Facility, where he awaited further developments in his case. The trial ahead promised to be long and arduous, but for now, the focus remained on the initial steps taken toward justice. In the days following the arraignment, the community continued to grapple with the implications of the case. It served as a stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the digital world and the importance of vigilance in protecting the most vulnerable among us. While the legal process moved forward, the conversation around prevention, education, and reform gained momentum, driven by the collective desire to ensure no other family would have to endure what the victims of this case had faced. This is not just a story about one man's actions. It's a call to action for all of us to confront the darker sides of modern life and work together to create a safer world. Cases like Terrell Rowan's serve as a stark reminder of the dual nature of technology. In today's world, platforms like Kik connect millions of people globally, fostering communication and community. But they also create opportunities for those with sinister intentions to exploit vulnerabilities. It's easy to think that these crimes happen in isolated corners of the internet, far removed from our daily lives. Yet, the reality is much closer to home. Predators like Rowan use digital tools to hide in plain sight, preying on the trust placed in modern technology. This case forces us to reflect on some of the most pressing ethical dilemmas of our time. First and foremost, there's the issue of consent. Consent isn't just about physical boundaries. It extends to how our personal information is used, shared, and protected online. When we sign up for social media accounts or messaging apps, we often assume a level of privacy and safety. But what happens when that trust is violated? How do we ensure that the same technologies designed to bring us closer don't become weapons against us? Trust itself is another critical factor. We place immense faith in digital platforms, believing they will safeguard not only our data but also our interactions. However, cases like this expose the cracks in that foundation. Predators exploit loopholes in systems built for convenience rather than protection. They take advantage of features like anonymity, which can shield them from accountability while enabling their harmful actions. As users, developers, and policymakers, it's our responsibility to demand better safeguards. This means pushing tech companies to prioritize security over profit, ensuring transparency in their practices, and holding violators accountable for their actions. But let's shift focus now to the broader implications beyond individual cases. What does justice truly mean in situations like this? For many, it might seem simple: punish the offender and move on. However, true justice requires more than just legal consequences. It involves addressing the root causes of such behavior, supporting victims in their healing journey, and preventing similar crimes in the future. Rehabilitation programs for offenders play an essential role in this process. These initiatives aim to understand why individuals engage in exploitative behaviors and provide them with the tools to change. While controversial, rehabilitation offers a chance for redemption and reduces recidivism rates. By tackling the psychological and emotional factors driving such actions, society takes a step toward breaking cycles of harm. Of course, this doesn't excuse the crimes committed, but it acknowledges the complexity of human behavior and seeks to address it constructively. For victims, recovery is a long and challenging road. Organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, are at the forefront of efforts to support survivors. They offer resources such as counseling services, advocacy groups, and legal assistance to help victims rebuild their lives. NCMEC also works closely with law enforcement agencies to identify perpetrators and rescue victims before it's too late. Their tireless efforts highlight the power of collaboration between different sectors of society. Beyond immediate responses, prevention is key. Educating communities about online risks and teaching children how to stay safe in the digital world is crucial. Schools, parents, and organizations must work together to instill awareness from a young age. Programs promoting digital literacy empower individuals to recognize warning signs and protect themselves and others. Additionally, advocating for stronger laws and stricter enforcement ensures that predators face appropriate penalties for their crimes. The fight against child exploitation is not one person's burden, it's a collective responsibility. Every click, every conversation, and every action contributes to creating a safer world. Technology has given us incredible opportunities, but with those opportunities come challenges. It's up to all of us to navigate this landscape responsibly, balancing innovation with safety. As we conclude this story, let's remember that justice isn't just about punishment, it's about restoration. It's about giving victims a voice, holding perpetrators accountable, and working together to prevent future tragedies. Share this video with anyone who cares about understanding the complexities of modern-day crime. Together, let's spark conversations that lead to meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe to VIX Crime Case Files for weekly updates. By staying informed and engaged, we all play a part in protecting the innocent and building a brighter, safer future. This isn't just a story, it's a call to action. Let's answer it. Justice may not always come quickly, but it does come. The journey to uncover the truth behind Terrell Rowan's crimes was a testament to the perseverance of law enforcement and the resilience of those who refuse to let darkness go unnoticed. Cases like this challenge us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our world. They force us to acknowledge the vulnerabilities that exist in the systems we rely on and the harm that can be inflicted when trust is betrayed. Yet, even amidst the darkness, there is hope. Hope for survivors who find strength in their healing journeys. Hope for communities that come together to demand change and support one another. And hope for humanity itself, as we strive to create a safer, more compassionate world. Each step toward justice, no matter how small, contributes to a brighter future for all. As we close this chapter, remember that the fight against crime doesn't end here. There are countless organizations and advocates working tirelessly to protect victims, bring perpetrators to justice, and prevent these horrors from happening again. If you or someone you know needs help, resources are available. Links to support networks, counseling services, and advocacy groups will appear on your screen now. Please take a moment to explore them and learn how you can make a difference. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Vic's Crime Case Files. Your engagement, your clicks, shares, and subscriptions helps us continue shining a light on the shadows of crime and sparking conversations that lead to meaningful change. Every comment you leave, every like you give, and every subscription you make brings us closer to our mission of educating and empowering others. So, if you enjoyed this story and want to see more gripping investigations, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. See you next week for another compelling true crime story. Until then, stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, never lose hope. Together, we can create a world where justice prevails and innocence is protected. Thank you for watching.